மீடியா உங்கள் கனவா? படிக்கும் அனைவருக்கும் இன்டர்ன்ஷிப், பிளேஸ்மெண்ட் அசிஸ்டன்ஸ். பாண்டே ஸ்கூல் ஆஃப் ஜர்னலிசம் ஷார்ட் டேர்ம் கோர்ஸில் உடனே சேர 7338824242.
தினம்தோறும் விளக்கேற்ற நல்ல எண்ணெய் இதயம் நல்லெண்ணெய்.
Thank you, Annamalai ji. I hope all of them can understand English at least. Most of our na pesra but kunjum pesra. So wherever I get stuck, Annamalai can step in. Why I asked him to make this presentation, because it was not in Tamil version, so I said in fluent Tamil, let it be there. See, for the media friends and for all of us, the party men, because now we have to go to the different parts of Tamil Nadu, also educate our karyakartas over there, about 9 years. The best way to make people realize what is the difference is to ask them to compare it with what it was before 9 years, before 2014. See, if you see a person, you say you have grown weak. As a doctor, I say you have grown weak. I would say that only if I have seen him when he was not weak. If I am seeing him for the first time and he is like that, I will not be able to make out. So many of us, including the karyakartas who have seen what it was like 2014, can go and educate people. Meanwhile, in 9 years, a new generation has come. They have not seen what it was before 2014. And every year we are also getting lakhs of new voters, 18 plus. They have grown up only in these 9 years. When Modi ji gave us a golden era, and they would believe that this is the time India always had. But somebody has to tell them, and they had to be cautioned that before 2014, it was something different. And as responsible young citizens, they have to guard against the earlier times happening again. What the earlier governments were doing, whether Congress or the alliance governments. So if you do the comparison from what you saw in the presentation, you saw the figures. Before 2014, there was such a huge desperation in the country, pessimism. In fact, on the 26th of May 2014, around 6 o'clock in the evening, when the swearing in happened of Prime Minister Modi ji, I wrote a small piece. I said, this is the beginning of a journey from pessimism to optimism. Because for so many years, India was known to be a country of scams, scandals, coal scam, this scam, that scam. And our youth were also disillusioned. They were looking forward to go abroad. Many of them want to go to stay back in India. Now see what is it? It is the other way around. Modi ji has given India an esteem, and every Indian a sense of self-esteem and self-pride. That is the basic truth. He has made us feel proud as Indians, whether we are living in India, even then, the diaspora, Indian diaspora who are settled outside, they are also being looked up with huge respect, which they were not enjoying earlier. Sometimes they were even hesitant to give their introduction. The world has started recognizing Indians' caliber, their capacity, their potential. And as you were seeing in the presentation, even startups. We are number 3 in the world, but even in the other countries, the startup groups are preferring Indian boys and girls, which was not happening earlier. And this has happened purely because of Prime Minister Modi. If you talk only of startups, in 2014 we just had 350. You have to compare with the earlier figures, then only you realize what it means. When you say 1 lakh, okay, 1 lakh means what? But somebody has to tell you that before 2014 we had only 350. It has gone up more than 300 times. That is the achievement of 9 years. Unicorns we have 115, out of which almost 35% are women-led. This was a country which was known to be not giving women their due or giving justice to women or giving them their share. Now women are in a leadership role. In these 9 years, we have moved on from women participation to women leadership. Earlier on, you used to say increase women participation. Now women are taking the lead and men has to be participants. And the world is now looking up to India because Modi ji has emerged as the tallest leader of the world and longest serving head of government, 23 years, first as Chief Minister, now as Prime Minister. Even among the contemporary, the present heads of government across the world, you compare. So many Prime Ministers changed in UK, presidents have changed in US. And that is why all these heads of government are looking up to Modi ji. You saw in this presentation, somebody is touching his feet, somebody is embracing him, because they are looking up to him for guidance, for advice. India's status has gone up in 9 years. That is the biggest achievement. And all that has been possible because of the strategic figures which you saw in presentation. And world today is ready to be led by India. World today is ready to be led by India under Prime Minister Modi because they understand that India under Prime Minister Modi has that capability which they may not have. In this presentation you saw vaccine. 220 vaccine doses administered. India was known as a country where people hardly have any health consciousness. Leave aside preventive health care. Even if somebody gets sick, they would not go to the hospital. There are certain economic reasons also, social reasons also, financial constraints. But usually they will just try for 3, 4, 5 days. Once you get serious, you go to the hospital. And the whole world was warning that India with 130, 140 crore people, if it is not able to control COVID, it will become a hot spot even for us. They were worried for themselves. That if it spreads all over India, they will also get affected. Later what happened? We were fully in control and small European countries with just 50 lakh population, 500,000 population could not control. And with the motivation of Modi ji, India came out with the first DNA vaccine for COVID. And we made it available to other countries. So it has been tremendous hard work on the part of Modi ji and his team to have made India arrive where it has. That is why today, even the most advanced countries, they think, no, India has the capacity to do what we can't do. They could not produce vaccine, we produced. Similarly, space. USA, Soviet Union, they started off much earlier than us. We have our space headquarters in Bengaluru. We started very late. Today, our space technology is as equally advanced as that of USA or even more. And we are launching the satellites prepared or developed by USA and UK from Sriharikota in Andhra Pradesh. And we are also earning revenue. When I was seeing the last figures, about 220 million euros earned by launching of UK satellites. And all this in 9 years. Earlier on, they had only, almost out of these 220, almost 187 million euros earned in these 9 years. Similarly, about $56 million earned from the USA satellites. So those countries which were ahead of us are today using our facility. So when we say India has reached a pedestal, it has happened after 9 years of continuous, tireless hard work by Prime Minister Modi. And he has given India a new culture. Culture which is based on objectivity, as he was mentioning EWS or aspirational district. That also we should go and tell people. Earlier on what happened? If I became minister, I would declare my district as backward district and give it all benefits. Now it's not like that. There is a dashboard, there are 40 parameters. On the basis of it is decided which district is backward or lesser developed in terms of health education or health facility, which one in education, which one in connectivity, and then to bring it at a par with the state first district and then national first district. Everything is scientifically, objectively done. Airports from 74 to increase to 148. How? Because Modi ji ensured wherever anything is required, it should be provided. Earlier on, what happened? In the Congress time, if I became aviation minister, I'll open an airport in my village, even if there was no passenger, no aircraft. We have seen this happening. Old timers have seen this. If I became railway minister, I will introduce a train to my village. That culture is gone. If we have developed Northeast, it is because Modi ji has given a culture of justice to all, appeasement to none. Wherever it is required, it has to be given. Otherwise, they would say, what is the fun? Northeast, you will hardly get any MPs. So what is the use of attending? And we must go and tell people, that is the comparison. Before 2014, the Prime Minister of India was himself MP from Northeast, from Assam. But since we did not follow that vote bank culture, similarly, all these reforms brought in by Modi ji are not only governance reforms or developmental reforms, they are also huge social reforms. For example, within 3 months, he issued an order, which Annamalai ji, being he's been in services, he will appreciate. I think 2014, May, the government came, by September there was an order that the documents or certificates will no longer required to be tested by gazetted officer. Such a huge thing. That was a legacy of the British Empire. In villages, wherever we went to class 9, 10 and we were asked to get certificates tested, we didn't know from where to get it tested. It was not simply a governance reform. Modi ji sent out a message, look here, I have the courage to trust my youth. The youth of India are my children, I can trust them. If you are running a family, you do not trust your own son, your daughter, how will you run the family? Such a huge reform. Then within a year, he abolished interviews in the government recruitments. Earlier on, what was happening? We have seen it. We have gone through it. We have been the receiving end of this. A candidate will get 100% written. You would give him 0 in the interview. And somebody whom you want to favor, you give him 100 in interview, even if written is 5 marks, and he gets selected. By doing such favoritism, we were doing such great injustice, not only to the youth, but to the mankind. In fact, to us, it was a sin. We were committing a sin. So this reform has held us back from committing that kind of a sin. Now for women, you were showing this Ujjwala, where 10 crore households were given gas connection. 10 crore means 10 crore families. Gas connection not only means ease of cooking, it also means protection of your health. So these reforms have multiple dimensions. When we started this scheme in my own constituency, we did a beneficiary summit, this Labharti. So usually I don't speak, I ask others to speak. Because if others speak about me, That is more useful in the election. Rather, I speak about myself. So one young lady came. She said earlier on, I first used to go to fetch the wood for the kitchen. Then whole day I would be blowing into this. It will take me several hours to prepare food. The food would also not remain properly cooked, and I would also get cough. And in the night, I would get a scolding from my mother-in-law. She said, now difference is, in 1 hour my food is ready. My mother-in-law is happy. My cough is gone, and I don't know what to do. So I have now started working in a stitching shop. Second business, alternative business. So I asked her to join Mahila Morcha. She is now a very active member of our Mahila Morcha. Because, see, now what has happened through this example? You have used the energy of this young lady for nation building. That energy was going wasted in the kitchen. And she was also getting ill health. These reforms are going to change the entire scenario in the coming generation. Similarly, toilets. 12 crore female toilets. Gave them name Samman Ghar or Izzat Ghar. Earlier, what was happening? Women, many of the villages, parents were not sending girls to school because there was no toilet. I am telling you fact. These we have to tell people. These figures are okay. What you are this you will get all the copies. But how to interpret these figures? What is the implication? What is the spirit behind that? I am myself seeing many people will not be sending, or the girl herself will refuse going. Because I can't stay in the school for 8 hours. Boys can go here, there to ease themselves, she can't. And those who went, because of holding back urine, they would get urinary infection, all those things. All those problems these girls were getting. What a huge service. Now, this is not only, I said there are 3 S. I was talking Lucknow. I said this security, also respect, and also convenience. So in Hindi, you can, I said it sounds Suraksha, Samman, Suvidha. Suvidha means you gave convenience to her. Suraksha means you protected her, otherwise she had to go out in the field. That was also sometimes a risk in the going in the morning. I have seen villages where women used to wait till morning, and before the men folk woke up, they had to go out to the fields at a particular time. Early morning, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. I come from that background. We have seen those places because there was no facility. Where does a woman go? Afterwards, the day starts. They were working against the nature. So what a huge reform this has happened. That is why today you have women-led entrepreneurship. You have women-led startups. Similarly, Jal Jeevan, this slide showed. I'm just giving you those examples so that where you can give comparison, also tell them what is the spirit. This culture, Modi ji has brought a new culture in this country. We just had, they showed now, just now the Jal Jeevan mission, which has given us 12 crore connections, 12 crore houses, that means households. You know, before 2014, it was only 3.5 crore. 3.25, not even 3.5, which means in 70 years, the earlier governments did not bother. We were carrying on same practice. Go to the well, fetch water for yourself. Go to the river, get fetch. Or you go to the river and take bath there. Or go to the seaside and have a water in this salt water. This could have happened earlier also. All these things have happened. This is a quantum jump. This is a quantum jump in 9 years. That is why the world is now seeing, oh, India has come. India's moment has come. It is not that the world is a fool. The people there, they know It is a country to reckon with. Our medical colleges were 145, now 265 added to that. As the number of colleges allotted in these 9 years are more than those constructed in 70 years. Then there are new resources discovered, the ocean resources. We have 7,500 kilometer long coastal area, including Tamil Nadu, beginning from Odisha. Nobody ever saw that side. I was telling some friends from Australia, I said, you have continent called Australia, you have island called Australia, you have country called Australia, but your ocean is not called Australian Ocean. My ocean is called Indian Ocean. Why? Because my forefathers saw there is huge wealth inside. We have not seen. We have now started this Samudrayan and deep sea mission. Prime Minister spoke on Independence Day. Deep sea mission means all that wealth lying, and India's future economy is going to be contributed from these sources which are unexplored. Similarly, in the north you have Himalayan resources. Aroma mission has started, lavender entrepreneurs. All these things we never saw. The earlier governments were working in a status quo mode. This has added value. This has given us the quantum jump. And can you imagine that even small, the other parties, all these initiatives, schemes were planned with a great degree of sensitivity. Like Mudra Yojana. Mudra Yojana is loan for unemployed youth. Now this Mudra Yojana has also so far benefited almost 5 crore individuals or groups of individuals, and 23 lakh crore has already been distributed. In this Mudra Yojana, an unemployed youth can get loan without mortgage, without guarantee, and for certain amount without interest. Can you ever imagine this? In this country, if you had to take a loan, you have known even most influential people, even senior officers, if they had to take a loan for a car, there would be so many formalities, finally they'll give up. Here you are virtually giving for no condition, like you are giving your child. You give him money, you don't ask him leave your shirt with me or leave your watch with me. Do you ask your son? So these schemes were not only schemes, they were reforms with long-term social and economic benefits. They were schemes with great degree of benefit, sensitivity, and they were schemes which would give you sense of self-esteem. All these women-oriented schemes, when they feel whether she has gas connection, whether she has toilet facility, she develops a sense of confidence, self-esteem. And some of the other areas which were not so popular, like for example, toys, all the toys were being imported from outside. Today, import has gone down 70% and export has gone 60%. Our children were playing with Korean toys without any connection with our culture. On the contrary, we are now exporting mobile phone chips. That is why the world is now looking up. And the last part of the presentation, which he showed, the cultural part. Earlier on, we were just celebrating some families, individuals. Now we are celebrating civilizations. You saw the program yesterday, the new parliament building, how the Tamil culture's richness was celebrated. I would say this is celebration of India's diverse civilizations. The beauty of India is that we have more than one civilization. But we were celebrating Western civilization. Whereas the Tamil is the oldest language in the world and one of the oldest civilizations. Yesterday it found its due place in the new Parliament House. Singal and the traditional hymns, traditional prayers being performed while installing it. So this is now if If it was earlier, they would say, no, we have nothing in Tamil Nadu, another government, leave it. Nobody is doing like that. Similarly, not only Tamil Nadu, see Punjab, this Kartarpur Sahib they showed. This Gurudwara is somewhere in Lahore. From Punjab, if you go to Amritsar, you have been in Amritsar, it's 45 minutes by road. Many of our Sikh brothers, they wanted to go there for their, just to pay obeisance. It is Prime Minister Modi who took up this courage, opened the corridor. So, on the one hand, we were also creating infrastructure success stories, like this highest railway bridge in the world, which, as Annamalai ji rightly said, is part of my constituency. It is 35 meters higher than Eiffel Tower. When I got it sanctioned after a lot of effort, about 7-8 years back, that time the media was not interested. Now everybody talks about it. So I used to keep telling people, nobody would believe that this is going to be highest. Then I came across a French newspaper agency in Delhi. That ma'am came to me. So later when I asked her, ma'am, I believe the highest monument is in your country. She said, yes, of course, Eiffel Tower. I said, we are also creating a monument which is 35 meters high. She got so interested, she sent a team of our media persons there. They prepared a documentary after that. But it's all because Prime Minister Modi has made it possible. So on the one hand, you are having infrastructural monuments. On the other hand, you are also blending it by combining them with your original traditional culture. Now, if you see the new parliamentary building, on the one hand, it has all the cultural symbols. On the other hand, it has the most modern sunlight facility inside the room. And that is why we are now ahead of the rest of the world. And now we have to plan, based on this 9 years of achievement under Prime Minister Modi, next 25 years. And particularly, we have to motivate our youth, youngsters who have 25 years more to put in. Many of us may be there, may not be there, but those who are in this age group of 30s, they have the energy, the capacity, and they will celebrate 100 years of India in 2047. And they will have the pride. Look here, we also contributed. As Modi ji gave this 5 principles, the last one is citizens' duties, citizens' responsibility. So in order to make this happen, each citizen of India will have to contribute. Modi ji is leading a journey. World has acknowledged this journey. World is looking up to us with great awe. Each moment they are seeing, don't know what next will happen in India, where Modi will lead. Now it is the responsibility of each one of us to contribute to it, not only to make it happen, so that when it actually happens in 2047, we can also tell our children, look here, we also gave some cooperation to Modi. So in a nutshell, since this meeting today was dedicated exclusively to the 9 years of the Modi-led government, how to analyze it, how to make it explain to the people, and what next for us. As I said, I will conclude saying the world is ready to be led by us. Now we have to ask ourselves, are we ready to lead? Modi ji has emerged as a world leader, but we have to offer our support, our cooperation, so that India remains a world leader for all the times to come.